Hi, welcome to this tutorial on Sandstorm. Assuming that you have successfully downloaded and have installed the Sandstorm tool, this is how your installation directory would look like. There are some folders on the top and some configuration files and executables at the bottom. So in this tutorial, we'll see how to create a test case, what all different options we can perform with a test case, then how to execute your test case with multiple users, and towards the end we'll see how to analyze the test results. So let's get quickly started. To record the test case, you need the Sandstorm recorder tool. So let's go ahead and open this. And this is how your Sandstorm recorder tool looks like. So let's start by recording a test case. So to record a test case, you simply have to select the record option, give a name to your test case, and then you get an option of selecting the browser and supplying the application URL. So in this case, let me go ahead and select the browser, clear the cache and the cookies from the browser, and start my recording. So here at the top you can see a small recording icon, and here you can supply the various transaction names. So let me go ahead and give my first transaction name, and in the browser supply the application URL. So as soon as I provide my application URL, on the recorder you can see that various requests they have got captured or have got recorded. So let me go ahead and perform another transaction. So basically your transactions are nothing but parts of a particular use case which may be there in your application flow. So here you can see the requests have been captured for the second transaction as well. So now let me go ahead and stop this recording. So once I stop the recorder gives me an option of selecting the dynamic parameters and apply correlation for them. So let me select the option of auto correlation and proceed next. Now the next thing I need to do is provide a name to my test case again. So here is my test case, and then you get an option of performing a debug run. So we'll come to this option later. So let me go ahead and finish creation of my test case. So this is how my finished test case would look like. So in this test case you can see there are various get and post requests on the left hand side. These are the transactions which we supplied while we were doing our recording, and on the right hand side you can see the description. So for example, if I select a particular request, on the right hand side I can see the request along with its headers, parameters, and even the recorded response. So let's see how it looks like. So for this request I have these different headers, the parameters which are going along with my request, the content, and the recorded response. Here I have the HTTP response code. Here I can see the complete content in form of an XML, or rather an HTML. So in this test case you can perform various things. For example, you can insert think times. So to be able to do so, you simply have to select a request or a transaction before which you want to insert a think time, and here you can provide your think times. This will give your test case a more realistic feel while it is getting executed finally. Along with think times, you can also insert loops into your test case. So to insert a loop, you simply select the set of requests, and here you can insert the loop. and once you hit apply, you can see that these set of requests get encapsulated within the loop and would be executed as many times while the test case is getting executed. So on your test case, these are the variable options which you can apply on your test case, and we'll have a look at each of these options in detail in our subsequent tutorials. So for now, let's just go ahead and execute this test case. So to execute, you can simply hit the run button, and you can see that the request would get fired on your application, and towards the end you can see this execution report. Now while executing, you can see the execution log getting captured here, and this log is also saved into your file system for later use. Here you have the response renderer, and if you select any particular request, then the response would be rendered in form of a web page over here. So now let's go ahead and execute this test case with multiple users, and to do so you would have to use the Sandstorm controller. So let's open the Sandstorm controller. So here you have the Sandstorm controller. So just go ahead and open it. And the UI for the controller looks like this. So let's quickly create a test scenario. Give it some name. Add virtual users to your test scenario. Add as many users you want your application to be loaded with at runtime. Select the test case which you want to load with these virtual users and click OK. So here you can see the virtual users have got added into your test scenario. From the configure scenario option, you can specify the number of iterations for which you want to execute this scenario. You can select the ramp up for these users, and the users would be ramped up based on the timings provided over here. Then you have the option of replaying the think time as it was recorded or as it was inserted in your test case. And then you have some advanced options of refreshing the graphs and aggregate intervals, etc., which we'll discuss in detail later. So for now, let's just save the scenario and execute the scenario. Now to execute this, first you need to load your scenario. So let's do that. So you can see the status changing from dormant state to loading to a ready state now. Once you achieve this, you simply have to run your scenario, and this is a real-time representation of the scenario getting executed. So here you have different graphs, the real-time graphs which show you the health of your scenario which is getting executed. On the top you can see the total number of passed and failed transactions along with their min, max and average response times. Now these times, they are for representation purpose, and you can always get a detailed report out of this when we go ahead and use the next component of Sandstorm, which would be the analyzer. So as soon as this scenario gets executed, we'll go ahead and analyze the test results. So here you can see the numbers, they are changing as your scenario is progressing, and here you have a representation of your running virtual users. This gives an idea of how much load is there on the system. Here you have the hits per second graph, which gives you the total requests being fired on your application, and so on. On the right hand side you can see the scenario status with the start and elapsed time and the total passed and or failed transactions. Each of these graphs, they are completely configurable, and you can enable or disable them depending on your requirement. So for example, if I want to see the hits per second graph, so I can just simply maximize this and the graph is available to me. So now you can see the users are slowly ramping down, which means the scenario is about to get completely executed. And so once all the users have ramped down, we would be good to go ahead and analyze the test results. So now you can see the scenario has completely got executed and this reset scenario option has got disabled. Now here we have provided an option of opening the analyzer directly from the controller window. So to do so and to analyze the results of your current test run, you simply open the analyzer and then you get different options of analyzing your test results and generating them. So let's go ahead and do this. And once your results are getting generated, you can see the overall summary is represented on this dashboard. So on this dashboard you have the average percentile comparison along with the scenario summary at the top. We provide all different kind of reports which one may want to associate with the load test and use it for analysis. For example, the transaction performance summary report. So here is the report where you have the transaction name along with their total number of passed, fails and not executed statuses and their min, average and max response times. Similarly, you have the complete scenario execution report. So it gives you details about from which host was your test case executed and the status of different virtual users and their execution scenarios. You also get different graphs. So here is the running vUser graph. Here you have the transaction response time per second graph or the scenario execution report on the right hand side again. So apart from these different graphs and reports, we also provide an option of merging two graphs. So to do so, you simply have to select the two graphs. For example, the running vUser per second and transaction response time per second. So this is how your merged graphs would look like. So here you can get a detailed idea of how your application was performing and how the different transactions were performing while your application was still running with increase in the virtual users. All this data, it can be exported in different file formats. So here we provide CSV, PDF and XML formats, and you can export the entire data and you would be able to work with that data. So again, these are the various reports, and if you want an auto analyzed report, then you can simply have to click on the analysis report and Sandstorm would generate its own analysis based on the results from your executed scenario. And this is how it would look like. So for example, if you want to go to the PDF report, these are the various reports. So this is your overall scenario report, the total throughput, etc. So hope this session was useful for you for detailed understanding of various features of Sandstorm. Stay tuned with us for the detailed tutorials on different features of Sandstorm. Thank you.